good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Pengfei from Revatic Technology, and together with the team, we'll be presenting to you Revatic Technology Development Plan for our new product, the AutoCore. Firstly, Revatic Technology Development Plan revolves around four main factors. The first component, engineering of our product, AutoCore, followed by marketing as well as manufacturing of our product, and lastly, forming strategic alliances with our suppliers as well as consumers. With the successful integration of all these four factors, we'll be able to successfully introduce AutoCore to the coating market. If we take a look at phase one of our development plan, which takes about 1.5 years, we'll be working hand in hand with Autonomic Materials, who is the main whom we have licensed our technology from. This helps us reduce the technology risk involved as in developing new product, as Autonomic Materials are the people or other researchers who have developed and came out with this new product. And at the same time, we'll be identifying early adopters who will adopt our product, and we'll be conducting concept design with them, product testing, and at the same time forming a new prototype. This new prototype will be much differentiated with normal additives, and it provides two unique benefits. And these are the two unique benefits that set us apart from other additives, and hence reduce the threat of new entrants as well as reduce incumbent competitors. And this phase one is approximately taking 1.5 years. For phase two of our development plan, we plan to identify suppliers. There are plenty of suppliers out in the market, such as Microtech, as well as Ronald T. Dodge Company. And the presence of these suppliers help us reduce the bargaining power of this supplier. Hence, we will be conducting suppliers negotiation with them and finding the most cost-effective microencapsulation. And once we have identified a supplier, we'll be conducting supplier plant testing. And in this way, we can find the most viable and most feasible method to produce microencapsulation in a large scale. Also, we'll be conducting market testing at phase two to validate and check the market, as well as conduct market analysis and industry analysis in this phase. And lastly, will be the phase three of our development. It takes about 1 year. In phase three, we'll be doing production ramp up and producing cans of AutoCore, and at the same time, we'll hire internal sales force, and this internal sales force will go to trade shows and conduct promotional activities. And this sales force will target specialized coating companies and form a strategic alliance and work closely with these coating companies. By forming a close relationship with them, we aim to lower the bargaining power of consumers. In summary, our product development phase takes 3.5 years. For phase one, we aim to have a prototype ready. For phase two, we aim to find our supplier as well as conduct supplier plant testing as well as market testing. And for phase three, we aim to hire an internal sales force to sell and market and push our product to the coating industry. And within 3.5 years, we'll have our product ready and make our first sale. Thank you.
Or at least explain how you chose the sort of timing for the ramping up the sales force. Like, are there any salespeople on board before phase three, or is it at phase three you just hire salespeople and try to directly train them and move out?
So when we say hire internal sales force, it's not necessarily that we're going to, just start selling. As he mentioned earlier when he was talking about the prototype not only consists of our additive, but it consists of the integration of our additive into a known product in the field. So let's say we talk to a couple of early adopters and we pick one who we consider is best suitable as a match for our company. So we will be working together with that company and selling us. But once we get to phase three, we consider that the sales ramp up, and when we identify more than just early adopters, push the product a little bit more, we'll need more than just the technical staff.
Okay, Pengfei, your time was, actually, we're quite a bit under. You were about 3.5 minutes. So you did have a little bit more time if you needed it. And it's not to say you necessarily have to fill the 5. Your voice projection's really good, and the fact you were standing up, you know, pretty much close to the audience worked quite well. Be a little bit careful, kind of like Henry, not turn to the screen too much. Okay. Some of the PowerPoint logic needed a little bit of attention. I wasn't quite sure where you're going in the beginning with phase 1. Before you told us what we were going to get done in phase 1, you had yourself and another player, and then you had an arrow going up to early adopters, and that went into product testing or prototype testing, but then you had concept design show up next, whereas it really should have been the first thing. So we need to think about the timing and the logic of how these slides fit together.
Probably I was not clear enough. What I meant was working together with autonomic.
Oh, no, I know what you meant. I'm just saying that the logic of the slide, and you should tell us right up front what a slide's supposed to tell you. I was looking at phase 1 and I had no idea what phase 1 is. I heard you say who the players are and all of that, but it would have been helpful if I knew what you were trying to accomplish in phase 1.
So maybe if we had talked about the prototype testing and then say
Well,
this
sort of
would
like
consist
that
of
chart early on tells me what you're going to be doing in each of the 3 phases, what you have out there right now. And then indicate, then you can maybe go to who your players are and how that fits in, or even maybe go from an overview like this to expand just on phase 1 and explain the details of it.
Okay.
But we got to start off telling us what it is that you're introducing. Okay. The 3.5 year time frame is pretty realistic. I think for your product, it's not unreal. I think Sergio was way too optimistic, but I think you're pretty okay. Something you may want to see, can you overlap these? Is it necessarily a linear projection, or can we get some fast tracking and overlap some of the phases? That's something to look at. Okay. And then what you may want to do, now that we've read the Macmillan articles, go think in terms of how do those milestones relate to this, and maybe there's intermediate points you can have. But this is good. I mean, it's off to a good start. Okay, good show.